What's up, Tim Sykes here in quarantine in LA in my badass home gym. I'm gonna get a workout in a little bit. I have a little bit of a quarantine beard. Thank you for all the comments I know that I'm gonna get from that. But even in the quarantine, I can still do my job, which is trading and teaching. Today, as I'm filming this, amazing day. I made about $4 grand trading, but more importantly than just the money, I called this stock DECN to a T. I've traded it about a dozen times, maybe 10 times in the past, but I know it pretty well. And last night I gave a challenge webinar. So literally every week, my challenge students get 2, 3, sometimes 4 live webinars, whether they're Q&A or live trading. Sorry, my beard is a little itchy. I'm not used to this. I got to shave in a little bit. Click the link below if you want access to 2 to 4 live webinars per week from me and my top students. And it just so happened last night was one with DECN as the main play because it was the biggest percent winner. And I said, I don't want to chase it. I underestimated it. I was buying it earlier this week at 20 cents and I sold it at like 23 cents. I locked in my $1,000. It went all the way up to 40 cents yesterday. Today it even hit 50. But at the same time, I was waiting for my morning panic. For me, I want the stocks to come to my favorite patterns, not random patterns. I don't want to chase stocks. And today, the stock did a perfect morning panic, dropping from 50 cents all the way to literally 21 cents in a few minutes. And a lot of people had never seen a morning panic like that. They had never seen any kind of panic like that. I had. I actually nailed the bottom, buying in around 22, 23 cents. I sold it around 27, 28. It actually went all the way back up to 37. So it was a 67% winner off the lows. I locked in roughly 19%. But more than just the money I made, frankly, I was like shaking because I haven't seen a morning panic so perfect. I have never called a panic so perfect. In the watch list before. So I give webinars, but I do watch lists, I do real-time commentary and trades. And it's a whole package in understanding how these stocks trade. And I can't remember the last time I ever was like dead on right. But on this play I was, from warning about the crash in last night's webinar. And one of my students saw it at 40 cents and he's like, oh, I'm thinking about buying it at 30. And I was like, why are you putting any number in right now? Why are you getting biased? I said it could go down, much lower, which turned out to be right. So I berated this challenge student. He took it. He was cool about it. But you should not have a bias going in. You don't know how far a stock is going to panic. And as it turned out, this stock was running up in anticipation of the news. They had some coronavirus news. They pre-announced that they would have news on today, which was April 23rd. So when you pre-announce, you're basically hyping yourself up. So when the news happens, it's a buy the rumor, sell the news type situation. That's what happened today. And it was actually rather beautiful how fast it dropped. I saw it at 40 cents when it opened and I said, oh, it's a little spike. It went up to 50. I was like still waiting for the morning panic. The news came out. I said, the news is out. Now it might panic. The panic started, and this is all time-stamped in my chat room. And I said, the panic has started. I don't know how much it's going to go, but this looks to be a perfect panic. And then I continued commenting as it dropped from like 45 to like 35, and I was like, the selling is merciless. That was the adjective I used. Kept going down. And I have, in case you didn't know, 850 video lessons on morning panics. So no 2 morning panics are exactly alike, but you can start to see the signs. And that's how I called this so perfectly ahead of time. That's how I bought at the bottom. Probably should have held longer, but again, when I make my 20%, that was like my goal. I made a little over 3 grand in like, 4 or 5 minutes. But again, more than just the money that I made. Again, I could have made like 7, 8, 9 grand if I had timed it perfectly. It's calling it. It's understanding how these things work on a buy the rumor, sell the news type situation, predicting it ahead of time, calling it to a T, time-stamped in my chat room. That's what I'm most proud of. And that is 20 years of experience right there. And like I said, I can't remember the last time I called something so perfectly. And some people might say, oh yeah, Tim, like someone said, like, this is so shady. You seem like you knew what was going on. And I was like, I mean, I study patterns. I'm not like an insider. I'm not like a promoter. I've just seen this pattern play out so many times. It's funny that my obsessive preparation leads some people to believe that it's shady just because they're so unprepared. Some people are like, I've never seen anything like that. And then here I am calling it to a T. I can see how some people might think that it's shady, but it is just preparation. And like I said, I'm not gonna always get, this dead on. I made about $4 on the day. There was also AXAS, which was spiking. Both of these stocks traded over 100 million shares, by the way. AXAS, I did not buy the morning dip. I bought an afternoon breakout. I bought it at like, what did I get it at? Like 26, and I sold it at like 29 cents. So I made, a little over 10%. After hours is up to 39. So I underestimated that. Tim Grittani is still long, I think. Tim Grittani, he doesn't say how big his position sizes are, but I would guesstimate that he made over 50 grand today. But I made $4. Jack Kellogg made, I think he said 6 grand. Huddy made 6 grand. Michael Good made 6 grand. John Papa made 4 grand. I put out a tweet. I was like, you have to be a moron not to be making at least a few $100s with these kinds of plays, whether it's DECN or AXAS or WLL was another big short squeeze this morning that Tim Grittani was long. I didn't chase that. Normally, I don't like oil stocks, but if the pattern is right, for me, it's all about the pattern. So I'm here in the gym, and I'm not usually in the gym. I'm definitely not usually filming in the gym, but I want you to understand that getting fit is a process, right? Like you gotta work each body part, and that's what all these different machines are. And getting financially fit, you don't have machines, it's all in your head, but you need to arm yourself, right? Like if you wanna get a buff chest, like you do bench presses here. If you want to build your account, you study the 850 video lessons on morning panics. I'm gonna post a link to it just below. It's Timley/Sykes dip buys. I made a little bit.ly link just so that you can look at it anytime. There's 850 video lessons on tons of morning panics, some good, some bad. But again, the more time that you study, the better prepared you are for future morning panics. No different than if you're trying to really build your chest, the more reps you do, the more you put into your gym time, the better you'll do. Obviously, don't do too much, like you can injure yourself. And I wouldn't study too much either. Some people are like, yeah, Tim, I'm gonna study 20 hours a day. But then 3 months later, they're burnt out. This is a marathon, not a sprint, okay? I don't know when the next great morning panic will be. I sit and wait for these patterns to develop, and then I'm fully prepared the more that I study. And that's what I hope for you. I'm basically a glorified history teacher. So if I was like a fitness trainer, I would be in the gym and I would be showing you workouts and stuff like that. But because I'm a stock market history teacher, I'm showing you historical stock examples that can be applied to current trades and you can help you be prepared in the future. That's what it's all about. And it still doesn't guarantee me success. I don't win 100% of the time. But remember, 100% of losses are caused by lack of preparation. Sometimes you might get unlucky, but I guarantee you that everybody who loses on their account, trade after trade after trade, it's not because they're unlucky, it's because they're unprepared. And you can't control luck, you can't control a lot of things in life. All you can do is control your preparation. So leave a comment underneath this video saying, I will prepare. 3 words, and mean it, don't just say it. Okay, I have 6,000 plus video lessons. Like I said, I give 2, 3, 4 live webinars per week. Thank God my top students now help me. Otherwise, I would lose my voice. Tim Grittani gives webinars. Tim Lento, who's closing in on $500,000 in profits. Michael Good, my first millionaire student who also thought I was full of BS. It's good to be real, okay? We show all of our trades too. I'm not just talking about like, oh, I made 4 grand, I made 30 grand. We show the details of the trade, and that's very important in this shady industry. So click below if you, 1, want to apply for my challenge. Understand that there's a process, there's an interview. It doesn't matter how much you're willing to pay me. If you have the wrong mindset, you're not gonna get into my challenge. Think about that. I get to select my students. I'm in a good spot in my life and in my business. Number 2, I'm going to post a free volatility link, a guide that is all based on volatility, and it's called the Volatility Survival Guide. It's 100% free, and I want you to just be prepared for volatile markets. Third, I'm going to post that link to the 850 video lessons on Profitly for morning panic dip buys. Watch them all. Watch them 2 times. Watch them 3 times. My newest millionaire student, Mark Crook, who made $15,000, by the way, sorry I didn't mention him sooner. He watched all of my video lessons 3 times. He's the one that they're categorized. He's the one who tagged them all. I didn't do that. So study up, be prepared, be patient, treat this like a serious thing, like you're doing bench presses, but you're doing mental bench presses. That's today's lesson.